Peace to you. So, next Sunday, we read from the book of the prophet Amos. We read him last Sunday, and this Sunday too, we're going to read him. And Amos ministered around the middle 8th century during the reign of Jeroboam II. And around this time, the wars of Aram had ended, and the Assyrians had not yet begun their campaign. And so there was this long period of peace that the region enjoyed because Aram was no longer warring around and Assyria had not yet started to conquer nations. And so Jeroboam II had a period of peace within which the nation prospered. The only issue there was that from what we tease from the book of Amos, we realized that wealth was not equally distributed. The rich became very rich and the poor became poorer. The poor becoming poorer was not because the system was such that once people begin to get rich, then the poor should be poorer, but it was because the rich hijacked the system. I mean, if you read the book of the prophet Amos, this is what you get from the social setting. We don't have much information outside the book concerning what was really happening around the time. But what we are proffered from the book of the prophet Amos is that it's because the rich hijacked the system and turned things to their advantage. That is why the poor couldn't make life during the time. And so their poverty was as a result of other people wanting to advance their wealth. And so you find the criticism of the prophet addressed to the rich ones in society simply because rather than serving the interests of their brothers and sisters who are less privileged, they sought to use their situation to their own advantage. Selfishness. And so this is what happened at the time. And so many times when you find Amos criticizing the rich, it was because he wanted them to realize that they have a responsibility towards their brothers and sisters. Now, follow the life of the people of Israel. When they entered the promised land, the land was distributed by clans, so everybody had a place for livelihood. Now, anytime they went into exile, it was because of some injustices going on, so that the Lord needed to use that to reset the society. They all come back to start from that level again. So this time too, the society is going wayward, and Amos reminds them that with what they are doing, they are inviting disaster. They wish this disaster will go far away from them, but they rather are inviting disaster to draw near because the things that will call for a reset are the very things that they are doing. I mean, in a society where people drink wine from bowls, like you can tell they sleep on ivory beds, and yet you have still others in society described as selling themselves off to slavery or servitude because of debt, and these were the very ones they owed. So somebody owed you and became a slave to you, and yet you drink wine from bowl. You don't even need the person to repay you. And so God's mind for his people is that everybody fares well, not that some people do so well and other people perish. So it becomes the responsibility of those who are privileged to tap into the resources of the society to care for those who are less privileged. This is where the prophet is coming from. And if we get this background, it helps to understand what is happening in the gospel reading. Because in the same society where somebody dines sumptuously each day, that's serious. Each day, I mean, nobody does that. But this person, each day, that is how Jesus describes it. It's a parable, though, but Jesus means to say that, I mean, why should somebody be living such a life whilst the other person is on the extreme end, both extreme ends, so poor that he begs to want to eat from the crumbs that fall from the table? It shouldn't be happening in the same society. So let's use this to critique what we experience in our society today. I mean, you can compare to what is happening in Ghana, and you realize that some people are really living in heaven whilst others are living on hell, if that is the situation and how we can describe it. And so this is the background to the readings of Sunday. Let's use this to advise ourselves and to see the way that we can also contribute to alleviate the suffering of the poor. God bless you.